I moved out of our shared bedroom the week my husband told his mother I blow things out of proportion. So this started over something small, or at least he keeps calling it small. My husband Dylan has this habit of telling his mom Carol every single thing that happens in our house. And I mean everything. If we disagree about what movie to watch, she somehow hears about it by the next morning. 3 weeks ago I found out he'd been letting Carol into our house while we were both at work. She has a key. I didn't know she had a key. I found out because she rearranged my spice cabinet and left a note that said, "You had these all wrong, honey." I asked Dylan about it and he goes, "She's just trying to help, you're reading into it." Then I found her folding our laundry in our bedroom, going through my drawers. I told Dylan I wasn't okay with his mother having unsupervised access to our home and that I wanted the key back. Reasonable, right? He said I was making it weird. The next day his mom called me. She said, and I quote, "Dylan told me you blow things out of proportion, so I'm going to let this one slide." That's when it clicked. He'd been in my corner to my face and running to her behind my back, painting me as some hysterical woman he had to manage. So I asked him, "Did you tell your mom I blow things out of proportion?" He didn't even hesitate. He said, "Well, you kind of do," like it was just a known fact, like the sky is blue and I'm dramatic. I didn't yell. I honestly think that surprised him. I just said okay. Then I went into the guest room, made the bed and moved my pillow and my phone charger in there. He watched me do it and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't share a bed with people who talk about me like that." He said I was being childish. For the first few days he thought I was bluffing. He'd knock on the guest room door at 11 p.m. and say, "Come to bed, this is ridiculous." I'd say goodnight through the door. By day 4 he stopped knocking. Then Carol got involved, obviously. She called and said I was punishing her son and that a wife who sleeps in a separate room is 1 foot out the door. I let her talk. When she finished I said, "Carol, why do you have a key to my house?" Silence. Then, "Dylan gave it to me." I said, "And Dylan's going to get it back from you or the locks get changed. Your choice." She hung up on me and immediately called Dylan crying. He came into the guest room actually angry this time. He said, "You made my mother cry." I said, "You told your mother I'm crazy. We've both done things." Here's the part he didn't see coming. While I was sleeping in the guest room, I'd been paying attention. Every night around 9 p.m., Dylan would go out to the garage to call his mom. I thought fine, whatever, mama's boy. But one night I went out for water and heard him through the door. He was telling her the entire fight, word for word. My words. He was doing an impression of me, this whiny voice, and the two of them were laughing. Then Carol said, "Just wait her out, she always folds." And Dylan said, "I know, she always does. She always does." That's the part that got me. 14 months of every disagreement and the whole time it was a strategy. Agree with me to my face, laugh with mommy at night, wait for me to cave. So I didn't cave. The next morning I called a locksmith. $200, done by noon. Then I put Dylan's key on the kitchen counter with a note. The note said, "New locks. Your mom's copy doesn't work anymore. Neither does yours until we talk to a counselor. Guest room's mine now. Whole house is technically mine until then. Ask your lawyer." He came home and his key didn't turn. He called me from the porch, and I'll give him credit. He wasn't laughing anymore. He said, "You can't lock me out of my own house." I said, "Funny, that's a lot more upset than you were when your mom let herself in." He said, "My mom is coming over right now to sort this out." I said, "She doesn't have a key either. Tell her to bring a lawyer too." Then he said the thing he always says, the thing that used to work. "You're blowing this out of proportion." And I said, "Dylan, I heard you in the garage. I heard the voice you do. I'm not the one who's been performing for 14 months. Long pause. Then real quiet he goes, "How much did you hear?" I said, "Enough that your mom's spice cabinet advice is the last helpful thing she'll be doing in this house." He's been staying at Carol's for 6 days. She calls the landline every morning at 9, and I let it ring.